Which head-coloured Gouldian Finch is the best bird? Is it the blackhead? Or is it the redhead? Or maybe it's the yellowhead? Stay tuned, guys, because we are going to pit each head colour against each other, and as they go head-to-head scoring points to see which bird comes out on top and is the best Gouldian Finch of all time. Hi guys, now before we get started, I do have a quick little favour to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to do and it really helps us out as a channel and allows us to grow. Our last video, it was a very popular video with regards to how many likes we got in a 24-hour period. We know people are watching the content, yet what was a little deflating was we only got 1 subscriber from the last video. So please do show your support to us if you're enjoying our content, and we will endeavour to bring you more videos. Quick disclaimer, guys. Now, this competition between the different head colours, it is purely based on my experiences in my bird room. I've been keeping Gouldians now for a solid 20 years. We've been keeping the head colours together for breeding, so black to black, red to red, yellow to yellow, and that has thrown up statistical information that I'm going to share with you in this video as we pit the 3 different head colours head to head. So without further ado, let's get to the first category. Which Gouldian Finch is the healthiest bird? When it comes to the health of a Gouldian Finch, I can honestly say, hand on heart, that I notice no difference whatsoever with one head colour being stronger or weaker than another head colour. I believe it's all down to the genetics of each individual bird, whether one is stronger or weaker, more prone to sickness or not at all. So for that reason, we are going to award each bird maximum points, 2 points each. And let's look at the next category. This is where things get a little bit more interesting. So I do notice a difference with which birds have lived longer, at least in my bird room. Now, the bottom of the list, unfortunately, with 0 points here is going to be the redhead. In my bird room, we've had the oldest redhead go up to 8 years old. Now, just slightly better than that, at 9 years old, we have had 1 black-headed hen go to 9 years old. So we're going to award the blackheads 1 point. And the longest lived bird in my bird room, well, actually, it was 2, and one of them still alive, yellowhead, that are 10 years old. Should we take a quick look at my 10-year-old hen? Here's what a 10-year-old Gouldian Finch hen looks like, guys. She's got the green ring on, 2014. We've had green rings come and go again in 2020. Obviously, we hope that she lives as long as possible, but if we go through another round of green rings, it is going to make things rather confusing. Let's take a look at the next category. When it comes to taming Gouldian Finches, it is something that is possible. And to be honest, it is a little bit of a time-consuming exercise, but it is doable. You have to build trust with the bird, and it does work best with younger birds. Now, we're very fortunate because my partner, she did manage to tame a bird, and it was a female. She had young, and those young were a lot easier to tame because they would mimic the mother bird. You know, we're taking food out of your hand, knowing that you're safe. It's all learned behaviour. So it is doable. And we have noticed a difference here as well in which head colours are more easy to tame. And unfortunately, bottom of the list here is going to be blackheads with 0 points, which I don't think we've had a tame one yet, actually. Redheads are going to be top at the list with 2 points. We've had more tame redheads than any other head colour. And in the middle with 1 point, we are going to award the yellowheads, of which we've had a few over the years. Now, rather than give you my opinion of which Gouldian Finch head colour I think is the best, what we're going to do is we're going to look at which head colour is the most popular based on what you guys think. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, it's basically based on which birds we find most popular for young that we move to new homes. We do sometimes have a waiting list, so we get back to people in order of whoever's been waiting the longest for birds, and they'll come along, they'll pick the head colours they want, they'll go home happy, and we're left with a few less birds. Now, every year it's generally the same story. The redheads are usually gone first. Then the yellow and the black heads, it's a bit of a toss up. One year it could be one, the next year it could be the other head colour. But what is consistent is the redheads do seem to be, on the whole, the most popular head colour, Gouldian Finch. So for that reason, we're going to offer the redhead 2 points here, and we're going to give 1 point each to the black and yellow head, which are tied in this round. So we're halfway through now, guys. We've done 4 categories. We've got another 4 to go. Let's take a quick look at the scores and see which Gouldian Finch is out in front and which ones are playing catch up. So at the moment, out in front, we have got the redhead, which is on 6 points. And second place is actually tied at the moment between the black head and the yellow head, both on 4 points. Everything's still to play for. So let's go take a look at the next category. Now, are there differences in breeding when it comes to Gouldian Finch's head colour? Now, after looking at our data, we found that there are. And what's more interesting is we've divided this category into 2 parts. It's going to be breeding in aviaries and breeding in cages, because we have noticed a difference in our bird room in both. So let's take a look at Gouldian Finch's breeding in aviaries. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, we do like to keep the head colours together. So we have done communal breeding over the years of the same head colour, be it black or red or yellow. And the same with the cages, we keep the head colours together. But with the aviaries, we have noticed that there is one head colour that does seem to be breeding better than the others, and that is the yellow head. So we're going to offer the yellow head 2 points. Next, I would say, from looking at the data, our blackheads are the next best communal breeders, and bottom of the list is the redheads. Now, this is just our experiences. If you've experienced something different and you keep just one head colour and you've kept all of them over the years, then let us know your experiences in the comments below. So on to cage breeding. Now, what we see here is a bit of a reversal of what happens when we aviary breed. What we've noticed is that the redheads seem to do quite well in the cages. One pair to a cage, they seem to be quite prolific breeders. So we're going to award the redheads 2 points here. The blackheads, they're again a second place. They're a steady breeder, they're a decent breeder, and we're going to give them 1 point. And yellows, we do seem to struggle a bit more within the cages for some reason. Maybe that's just us. Maybe you have a different experience. So do let us know if you are experiencing different things happening in your bird room. But yellowheads for us, it's nil point. Next category. Now, although the biggest clutch size I've seen of eggs laid in one go belonged to a redhead pair, it was 11 eggs. I do see more consistency with the blackheads laying bigger size clutches. 7s and 8s have not been unusual in our bird room. So for that reason, on this category, I am going to award the blackheads the maximum 2 points and the redheads the 1 point. And the yellowheads, unfortunately, only 0 points here, or no points at all, because we don't notice anything significant with their clutch sizes when we compare them to the reds or the blacks. Now, in our bird rooms here in the UK, redheads, yellowheads, black-headed Gouldian Finches, they're all relatively common. There isn't one that is probably more common than the other one, at least not that I've noticed. But what is interesting is that in the wild, that is not the case at all. The blackheads do make up the majority of the birds, I'm told between 70 and 80%, while the redheads make up between 20 and 30% of the birds. So where does that leave the yellowheads? Well, they are in the wild, but they only make up, well, less than 1% of the total population. So every 1 in 1,000 birds is a yellowhead. So they're not as common, and a lot of that is down to the fact that the genetics are recessive, so they are not as easy to be bred, if that makes sense. Right guys, we're at the final stage now of this head-to-head. This is the last category to find out which is the best overall Gouldian Finch head colour, and we're going to be looking at which ones make the best parents. Is one head colour superior to the other when it comes to raising young? Is one head colour less prone to tossing chicks out the nest than another head colour? So based on what goes on in our bird room and our experiences, I'm going to say that there's no difference at all. Doesn't come down to head colour, can come down to each individual bird, the age of the bird. Sometimes they've already raised a clutch or a couple of clutches the year before, so they're a little bit more clued up, and I think the instincts can be a little bit more advanced, shall we say, in older birds, so they know what they're doing. And the other thing that can play a role in how well Gouldians breed is the bird breeder. And what do I mean by that? I mean, have they been given right diets at the right time? Have the protein levels been increased? Have they gone for an austerity period beforehand? These are things that have made a difference in our bird room, and we've noticed things like a lot less chick tossing when an austerity regime has been followed. So let's go and have a look at the scores now and find out which Gouldian Finch has come out on top. So here come the results, guys. In third place with 9 points are the yellowheads. And second place with 10 points is the blackheads, which means our clear winners with 11 points are the red-headed Gouldians. Now that was all quite close. There was only 2 points from first to third. It was a harmless bit of fun, and you might have had completely different experiences to what we've shared about our birds and our bird room. If you have, that's fantastic. Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear other stories. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash up the likes, and we will see you in the next one.